Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the Quick Take, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In this video I'll be going over the news regarding Armando Broja, Chelsea's kind of worrying search for a striker, and of course going over the preview for tomorrow's game against Liverpool at Anfield. Before I continue, I would like to quickly remind you I am running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com where at 15,000 subscribers you could be in with a chance at winning the King of London lightsaber, the perfect saber for every Chelsea fan. 3 participants will be chosen and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment down below for more information. And with that, on with the video. So, kicking things off with Armando Broja, of course, one of the big players slated to be leaving Chelsea this January transfer window, or at least in the very near future, along with the likes of Trevor Chalobah, potentially Conor Gallagher, some other names like that. But we do have an update here, and apparently Fulham are making a late charge for the striker. Fulham hope to secure a late deal for £50 million rated Chelsea striker Armando Broja. So Chelsea currently rated Broja around £50 million, although there is some news stories that do go against that. This is coming in from CFC Pice on his second account. Chelsea are looking for a minimum of £30 million to sell Armando Broja before the deadline. Some sources are surprised Chelsea have not signed a fullback this window, as the club do not want Levi Colwill at left back. Ben Chilwell has injury history and Marc Cucurella still out for a while, which makes sense, of course. We did see how well Ben Chilwell did play when he did come back into the side following his lengthy injury, and I think that may be because it's such a juxtaposition when you compare it to what we've been watching with Levi Colwill, who's not been terrible, he's not been the worst player on the pitch, but he's obviously been playing out of position, and to see a player playing in the natural position, of course, Ben Chilwell is a natural left back. We are obviously going to pick up on the things that he does kind of naturally that potentially Levi Colwill maybe has problems doing himself. But we did have another update from the Telegraph here. Fulham manager Marco Silva is hoping a deal can be struck with for Armando Broja after making the Chelsea striker his preferred choice for a late January deal. Chelsea are willing to listen to offers for Broja, 22 years old, in the final days of the window, but value him at, I don't know why I said that so weird, but value him at £50 million, which Fulham have not met. And then we had a final update. This is coming from Jacob Steinberg, who has me blocked. Fulham are looking at a deal for Chelsea striker Armando Broja. It could depend on Carlo Vinicius leaving. If Broja goes this week, it is likely to be a loan with an option to buy, which does seem to be Chelsea's current mode of business at the moment, loaning players with options to buy, loaning players and then giving them a new contract and having there be a release clause like Ian Maatsen, Lewis Hall. We got likes of Romelu Lukaku, who's expected to be sold come the end of his loan at Roma, whether Roma buy him or whether he goes to Saudi League. Apparently he's got some interest from the Saudi League there, and it looks like we'll be doing the same for Armando Broja. In terms of Chelsea's reported January transfer window plans, it does seem like Chelsea have fallen behind what we intended to do. This is coming in from Santi Ouna. Chelsea are aiming to strengthen in 5 positions in January. Right back, left back, centre back, winger and striker are all wanted. But £30 million for Armando Broja, would you take that? Would you say no to that? Would you reject it? Honestly, £30 million right now, I didn't think we'd be able to get much more for him. I thought we may be able to get 35 million at a very big push. He hasn't really shown he's worth anything more than that as of recent times. He's looked quite bad recently. In fact, poor touches here and there, kind of struggling in front of goal. The goal, I think people thought he scored the other day, but it was an own goal. So he's been a bit unlucky in terms of scoring, and with his first touches, it does make him look a bit worse than he actually is. But £30 million for him, maybe we are just overinflating his actual value, a lot like how other clubs do that to us, but it does look like he may be leaving very, very soon. But that's not the only news today. No, I'm going to quickly talk about this from Ben Jacobs. Chelsea prefer to sign no striker rather than an older striker, which sounds kind of strange to me, especially considering that we are potentially looking at the likes of Armando Broja leaving, which leaves us with one real out-and-out striker, and even then there's an argument he's better at wing, and that is Nicholas Jackson, who's now returning to the squad following Senegal's dismissal from the AFCON after the, well, they weren't dismissed, it wasn't like get out of here, but they lost, and that now they're coming home. So Nicholas Jackson is now returning to the squad. How I feel about this, I'm not too happy. Benzema was obviously the dream target, but I do understand his wages would have been very high, and bringing in a 36-year-old to the club has it would go against the club's current philosophy in terms of signing young players and investing in players for the future. You know, the whole Project 2030 thing. But to me, this also rules out a deal for someone like Callum Wilson, who I think would have been a great asset, even for the short period of time up until the summer transfer window, when we do bring in a Gokedesh, or when we do bring in a Victor Osimhen, or we do bring in basically a world-class striker. It would have been nice to have like a deputy to, as I said in the other video, pass on the torch, or to rely on Nicholas Jackson and to rely on players who aren't out-and-out strikers to get you European football, which is desperately needed if we want to get this Air Jordan deal and, of course, return to the promised land that is European football. I think it's a very, very risky move, and I would prefer this striker situation be dealt with earlier in the window. But I do understand the lack of player sales has slowed us down. And so we move on to the Chelsea versus Liverpool, or should I say Liverpool versus Chelsea for Liverpool are at home preview. Now, in the past 10 match games, this is going back all the way until the 22nd of July 2020. We have had a somewhat interesting record against Liverpool, obviously picking up a win on the 4th of March 2021. That was when we were on a God run, when we were on our way to Porto, and when we won the Champions League with Thomas Tuchel. But then again, in the past 3 games, the Premier League, 0-0, 1-1, and then the 2 games before that, which was the FA Cup and the League Cup final, 0-0, lost on penalties, both of them, which was just horrible games to watch, and losing on penalties like that against Liverpool, it hurt my soul. But before that, again, 2-2, 1-1, so it does look like we are in for a low-scoring game. Saying that, it'll probably be like 5-0 or something. But if we are going to look at the past 10 games against Liverpool, it will be a low-scoring affair. A lot of chess work basically going to be played. A lot of defensive football, a lot of attacking football. Players missing chances. Of course, Darwin Núñez, not too bad, but he does miss chances from here and there, and he does seem to be a vital part of their attack. And so I would imagine with them missing out on Salah as well, a big asset in terms of goal scoring for them, they will miss chances. But I do have my predicted lineup here. I've gone with Petrovic in net. Chilwell will be starting at left back. He was rested in the last game week. Badiashile, of course, coming in for the injured Levy Colwill. Thiago Silva partnering him in the defensive partnership, with Disasi starting at right back. Of course, Malo Gusto is now back from injury, but there is a chance that he's not rushed back, and potentially Disasi comes off around the 60th minute, and on comes Gusto. Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in the midfield pivot, with Conor Gallagher starting at number 10, with Sterling off the left-hand side, Noni Madueke off the right-hand side, and Cole Palmer playing as a false 9, basically kind of drifting around those final third areas, not really being an out-and-out striker. That's just not him. He's a number 10, or he's a winger, basically. But of course, we are basically missing a striker. Broja on his way out, and Nicholas Jackson is gone. And Nkunku is, as I said, back in the squad, but he's not ready to start. I do have my Liverpool predicted lineup here. In net, I've gone with Alisson. Robertson is now back from injury. Van Dijk, Konate, Trent is now back from injury as well, so lucky days for us. Alexis McAllister, Jones, and Szoboszlai, who is also returning in the midfield 3, with Darwin Núñez off the left, Diaz off the right-hand side, and Diogo Jota up front for Liverpool. Chelsea are going to be up against it this game. Of course, Anfield, following the news regarding Jurgen Klopp's dismissal, or Jurgen Klopp's self-dismissal from Liverpool come the end of the season, they are going to be out in droves when it comes to the amount of noise they're going to make. We are definitely going to be up against it, against this Liverpool side. They're going to want to get this win, and if Liverpool do beat Chelsea, that would be Jurgen Klopp's 200th Premier League win as Liverpool head coach. So lots and lots riding on tomorrow's game. Of course, it's a big game in terms of Chelsea climbing the table, trying to get back into that top 6 spot, trying to get back into European football without having to beat them at Wembley come the Carabao Cup final. But I really do believe this game is going to be a low-scoring affair, fairly frustrating, and if I had to guess a score, I'm probably going to go 0-0. I'm probably going to go 0-0. It's the boring answer. I would love to say, 3-3 goals galore, or 4-3 with a 90th minute winner from Chelsea to rain on Klopp's parade, but I just don't see this game being as high scoring as I would like it to be. 0-0 is my prediction for Liverpool versus Chelsea in the Premier League at Anfield. So that about wraps up today's video. Looks like Armando Broja could be on his way out and joining Fulham at the end of the winter transfer window. Chelsea may be looking to snub a move for Callum Wilson due to our policy of signing young players. And let me know your score prediction for Chelsea versus Liverpool tomorrow. As always, if you like the video, like, comment and subscribe. I've been the Quick Take and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.